What's going on, guys? My name is RagingRaptor and welcome to a new World of Tanks preview video, and today I'm delighted to show you another new tier 9 heavy tank. And this is going to be the Concept 1B, and as you can see, it's an American made heavy tank, and it looks very futuristic in my personal opinion, very unique in the sense of that the hull kind of looks like a leopard hull, while the turret clearly has influence of a Conqueror turret. Especially when you start to see it from the front a little bit. Yes, the gun mantle is a little bit different and the hull now is very weirdly looking, but just looking at this, it really looks like the absolute opposite what you would expect from an American tank. It's not fat, it's thin. Okay, I'm stopping now with the stupid jokes. But this tank, generally speaking, looks very interesting, not only from the looks of it, but also on the stats on the paper. So we are going to have a look at them in just a second. And I personally would like to compare this tank to the Conqueror as well, because in the end, let's be honest, they may or may not use the same positions, and they may or may not play similarly-ish. Those are the stats. Let's have a quick look. If my face is in the way as per usual, that's why we are pushing myself to the side. And there we go. That's the Concept 1B. It has a 400 alpha gun, 258 millimeters of penetration, 310 with premium rounds, which are heat, while the standard rounds are APCR. That is a very interesting thing. And it has 53 millimeters of HE penetration with 515 alpha. So that is very standard right there. But now let's come on. 400 alpha, 10.2 seconds reload time. That's not too shabby in my opinion, because this comes up to a DPM of 2,359. So I personally do like that. Again, I'm going to quickly give you the Conqueror as well, so we can compare those two together, because I think that will be the most interesting part. Just have to find now the paper, which I can't because it's back there. So we most likely have to quickly move a little bit around when we want to see that stuff. But yeah, the firepower is very similar to what the Conqueror have, but actually it has better DPM. That is very interesting in my opinion, that this tank has better DPM. So we have to look out for that the Concept 1B just simply is in that regard better. Yes, aim time is longer, as is the accuracy is a little bit worse. So we should have also or keep that in mind, that the Concept 1B might be a little bit better suited for close range encounters, while the Conqueror still is king of also being good at longer ranges. While we are now coming to the dispersion values during the move and during and turret traverse, I want to give you quickly the preliminary stats of those, because luckily enough, as I'm a CC right now, we got those, and I can tell you the accuracy on the move is 0.14, so it's 0.02 worse than a Conqueror, but it's still, in my opinion, a good value. And the turret accuracy is actually a lot better. It's 0.08 compared to the 0.10 of the Conqueror. So you can see that the Concept 1B is trading accuracy during traverse to accuracy during turret traverse. So that's a pretty decent thing. So as soon as you are standing in a position or you don't move your hull, you will be more accurate on the move or on the turret traverse than the Conqueror itself. 30 degrees of turret traverse is also pretty decent in my opinion. It's actually a little bit better than what the it's almost the same as what the Conqueror has. I quickly looked at the wrong direction. And it has 10 degrees of gun depression, which is, in my opinion, a very good value, and 40 pieces of ammunition. But I looked at this with Phil, and he doesn't know either. If you look at the tank from the front, you will notice this very weirdly and oddly shaped place. Obviously, it's the driver's hatch. And I am confident in saying that the Concept 1B will not have its full 10 degrees of gun depression over this spot over here. I don't think that this will be the case, which gives this tank, in my opinion, another unique aspects in heavy tanks, on higher tiers, where you have to use the side armor slightly more, like over here and over here, to fully utilize your 10 degrees of gun depression. So I have to say that's, again, a very interesting and very unique thing. What I do not like really is when we look from the front, the cupola looks incredible small. So I'm never a big fan of more hold down melee tanks which only need you to stay hold down. We do not know how the gun mantlet is looking. This could be a weak spot because, as you can see, it is only steeply angled, but maybe not good armored. Who knows? So, for example, if the tank is not directly looking at you, you might have the ability to shoot underneath the gun mantlet and pen it rather easily. But at the moment, that is going to be pure guesswork. So let's go back to the stats sheet because we go now to the mobility. And mobility is very good. 45 kph top speed, 18 kph backward speed. He is clearly above the Conqueror, especially with a 20 HP per ton ratio, which is absolutely insane for a heavy tank. Wargaming themselves even said they wanted to make this tank feel like a heavy medium hybrid, and they compared it themselves to the E-50. So this tank is a very, very fast machine. I do think, though, that this may or may not will be nerfed at later stages because it has good gun depression, it has a decent gun, it has great mobility, and we're going to the armor in just a second, which is also pretty decent. So at the moment, for me, the Concept 1B sounds a little bit OP-ish. It's just from the from the base paper stats we have. Again, I couldn't play it yet. Last time I saw the IS-22 and the IS-32, I was like, nah, that don't really look good or interesting, and I was proven wrong. So maybe I'm saying that this tank looks a little bit too broken at the moment or too strong, but I might be wrong. Will be interesting to see what they're going to do, if they're going to nerf it or not in the SuperTest stage. 42 degrees of hull traverse is also very, very fast compared to the Conqueror, but we have to note Conqueror is here and there a little bit of a sluggish machine. Now to the survivability. 1,800 hit points, and that's pretty decent. 400 meters of fuel range, which is also very decent, comparable to what the Conqueror has. It has less HP though. So, and lastly, we have the armor, and the armor looks very interesting in my opinion as well. The hull, or most likely the upper hull, will be less than 130 millimeters, maybe the lower plate is 130 millimeters, but 120 millimeters on the side, that is pretty nifty. Maybe around here, maybe around the turret ring, but not at the rear. And but still 80 millimeters at the rear, that sounds very, very good. And you can see that the armor plate right there looks very strong as well. Actually, I might be wrong. Look at, let's just try to compare it. This looks also very, very thick. So maybe this will be the 130 millimeter plate up here. This will be something around 120, 80 millimeters. Maybe around here we have 120 millimeters, and here we have another 80 millimeter plate, which covers up the engine. But it will be, at the moment, again, hard to judge. The turret, also very interesting, 250 millimeters front and 110 on the side. So most likely if you face this tank like this, you will have issues penetrating. I do think this tank has the weak spot which formerly was known in the 260, where you could shoot underneath the cheeks, and I think here could be the same thing, that you in theory can shoot underneath the gun mantlet. It doesn't really look that strong. Maybe I will be proven wrong later when we see the damage model, but that is the armor roughly. They also said if as soon as you see the side of the tank, you will have a big problem because, yeah, the tank doesn't have good side armor on the turret. So there shouldn't be any issues penetrating this part of the turret and so on and so forth. To be honest, you saw that this tank has 4 crew members: commander, driver, loader, and gunner. I want to know where exactly are all those people located. Obviously the commander is back here. You can see that, and the driver is there. But the turret looks so sleek that it kind of looks like the gunner may or may not be seated over here rather than in the gun itself. I might be wrong, and maybe the loader is seated over there. Might be, might be not. So this would mean that depending where you're hitting, most likely over here or over here, you have a chance to ammo rack this tank. Again, this is pure guesswork just from how the tank is designed, so I do not know. Also, I do not know if this part back here will be part of the damage model. It kind of looks like it will be, but it could be not. Who knows? We have several different tanks which have something like that, which sometimes it is part of the damage model, sometimes it isn't part of the damage model. Nevertheless, I personally don't know what Wargaming is going to do with this tank. I have a sneaking suspicion, because lately we have a lot of tier 9 tanks coming to the game. Either it is for the new Frontline and Steel Hunter combined season, or I think that like my guesswork right now is that Wargaming tries something out, wants to try something out. Either they want to make those tanks free XP, like we have in World of Warships, make those free XP premiums, which will raise a huge uproar by the World of Tanks community. Or those tanks could be something for the pawn shop, which was also a valid option. Or those tanks could be something for the national blueprints, the universal blueprints. Because I do think that Wargaming wants to keep the long-term players also happy, and I see myself having the issue that I have too many universal blueprints, like I have 1,000 of them. I'm not going to use them on the double barrel tank tree, because not only do I want to keep the tanks all free with a decent crew, so I have to train some crew, I also kind of want to grind them. Like I was playing the IS-32 stock, fully stock. Yes, I use premium account boosters and so on and so forth, but I was playing it stock to just see how the tank really feels. Is it useless stock? To my surprise, it's actually not too bad. The issue is the turret, not the guns. What do you think about the concept 1B? I want to say Centurion for some reason. Do you like it? Do you dislike it? What do you like about the tank? What do you dislike about the tank? I hope you enjoyed my video like this as well. Let me know in the comment section below if you did. If you're new to the channel, leave a subscription there. And again, do you like the tank? What are your predictions? What is going to happen with this tank? And as always, thanks for watching. My name is RagingRaptor. Cheers and have a great day.